These are instructions from Mrs. Belle De Graf on how to bake a cake. There are 2 of her recipes at the end of the instructions. Cake comes on the list of luxuries at the present period of high prices, so the utmost care should be taken both in the method of preparation and in the quality of material used. Good flour is absolutely essential, if the best results are to be obtained. Also, care should be taken in the selection of shortening, if butter is not used. The best results and flavor will always be obtained from butter, but owing to the high cost at the present time, butter substitutes are being used which give satisfactory results. The mixing and baking of cake require both skill and judgment. The baking needs more study and care than the mixing, for no matter how well you have put the cake batter together, if the oven is not right, the cake may be a failure. There are 2 classes of cakes which contain butter or other shortening, and sponge cakes, in which the butter is omitted. As the cakes containing shortening offer more variety, we will study that subject first. Pans should be prepared and oven heated before mixing the cake batter. For success, care must be taken in measuring, all measurements being level. There are 2 ways to add the shortening. For inexpensive cakes containing a small quantity of shortening, the result will be found satisfactory if the fat is melted and added to the batter after the cake is all mixed. For the better class of cakes, where 1/2 cup or more of shortening is used, the shortening is beaten to cream, or until smooth and waxy. This can be accomplished easily if the mixing bowl is rinsed with hot water, then wiped dry before shortening is placed in it. Add sugar gradually to the creamed shortening and continue to beat until mixture resembles whipped cream. Separate the eggs, beating yolks until thick and lemon-colored, and the whites until stiff. Add the beaten yolks to the creamed butter and sugar mixture. Add the flour, sifted with the baking powder and milk alternately, beating well. Flavor and fold in the stiffly beaten egg whites. The more the cake is beaten before the egg whites are added, the firmer will be its texture. Separating and beating the eggs gives a light, fluffy cake. The eggs can be added to the creamed sugar and shortening mixture one at a time, unbeaten, but beating each egg vigorously when adding to the batter will produce a cake which is moist and fine-grained, and one which keeps in good condition for some time. Cakes should be baked as soon as mixed. So much depends upon the proper baking, and the best way to assure satisfactory results is to time the cake and divide the baking into quarters. In the first quarter, the mixture should rise in the pan. In the second quarter, it should continue to rise and brown in spots. In the third quarter, the top of the cake should be uniformly browned. In the last quarter, the cake should shrink from the pan, when it should be baked. If in doubt as to whether the cake should be taken from the oven, test it by touching lightly in the center. If baked, the mixture will spring back, but if not quite cooked, it will hold the impress of your finger. This rule for timing applies to all cakes, whether layer or loaf, or where a slow or medium oven is used. The time for baking will vary a little for different ovens, but the average time for a medium-sized layer cake is from 15 to 20 minutes. Loaf cakes 3 inches thick will require about 40 minutes, sheet cakes and cupcakes about 25 minutes. Cakes baked in a brick-shaped pan will require an hour or longer. A moderate oven will give the best results for nearly all cakes. If the batter rises in a cone in the center, you are using too hot an oven, and a crust has formed before the mixture has had time to rise. The oven door may be open to watch the cake if it is done carefully, not opening the door too wide so the cold air rushes in, and closing the door so as not to jar the oven. Mrs. Belle De Graf's layer cake. 1 cup shortening, 1 1/3 cup sugar, 3 eggs, 2 cups flour sifted with 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 cup of milk or water, 1 teaspoon each of vanilla and lemon extract. Cream shortening well or until it may be beaten with a spoon. Add sugar gradually, continue to cream. Separate the whites and yolks of the eggs. Beat yolks until thick and lemon-colored, add to creamed butter and sugar, then add flour and liquid alternately. Fold in the well-beaten whites of eggs and flavoring. Bake in 3 well-greased layer pans in a moderate oven. Mrs. Belle De Graf's quick cake. 2 eggs, 1 cup sugar, 2 cups flour, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1/2 cup milk or water, 1/3 cup melted shortening, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 teaspoon lemon. Sift dry ingredients, beat eggs very light, add sugar gradually, beating with egg beater. When creamy, add dry ingredients alternately with liquid, mixing well, add flavoring and melted shortening. Bake in 2 layers and put together with jelly, or add a 1/4 cup chopped walnuts to the batter and bake in well-greased muffin pans.